Hi everyone, I hope you are doing well and all is well with your soul, as the sign says here. I'm Sarah with Divine Love Healing. Thank you for supporting my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, I would love for you to do that, and let me know if there's specific content that you would like to see. I don't get a chance to record videos as often as I would like, but I definitely want to offer content that you find the most valuable. So please let me know in the comments below, or feel free to contact me at social media or email as provided down below. So as I'm sure you all know, we just came through a very intense, very powerful eclipse season. And some of you may have been, hit harder than others, depending on your natal chart, depending on circumstances in your life. But in any event, there's often a time of massive transformation when we go through an eclipse, especially with a full moon involved, and with the energy being heavily in Taurus, there is a lot. I think there was a Scorpio, there were some Scorpio ties in there as well. Taurus and Scorpio, I think, have been alternating on the eclipse cycle, so you may want to look into that. But in any event, it was a time of massive transformation, and we have many planets in Taurus right now. The sun is about to move into Gemini, which of course is what this reading is ultimately about, but I tend to focus on kind of all of the energies that interplaying right now. Taurus is, I'm obviously biased, I think, because I'm a Taurus moon and rising. I love Taurus energy. Some of you may just be like, oh my God, I can't deal with this, right? But for me, Taurus, Taurus on its positive attributes, it's associated with Venus, the planet of love. It is about planting seeds. It is about also reaping the rewards, right? It's kind of this multifaceted energy. It's tied to pleasure. It's tied to the finer things in life, to really bring our dreams into fruition. So we did have the new moon in Taurus that I believe it peaked in the United States yesterday morning. That was Friday morning, but we're still in the energy for a couple of days. So I do have a new moon card in each of these piles for us to kind of look at that energy. Now I will list all of the decks down below that I'm using in this. I will also timestamp the individual ones if there's a specific one that you want to jump to, but feel free to watch all three and take what resonates and toss the rest. I do have 3 of my self-created decks that I'll be using in here: the Cosmic Order Oracle, the Air Sign Vibes Oracle, and the Sacred Union Tarot. Information on those is down below. The Cosmic Order Oracle is the only one of mine that includes a booklet. I haven't looked at it in a while. It's over 40 pages of information that will be emailed to you upon your purchase of that one. Also, if you don't follow me on social media yet, I would highly encourage you to do that. I'm at Divine Love 1130 on Instagram. I also have a Facebook page. I believe you can get to that easily. It's at Divine Soul 1111. And I will be posting some contests here soon on my social media. So you definitely want to follow me there to get information on that. I can't believe it, but I'm coming up on my 5-year anniversary of starting my business, which is crazy. So to thank you all for your support, I'm going to be giving away some free readings and just possibly, most likely, running some specials on my tarot decks. I also have a new deck that's coming out, the Cosmic Tarot, which is going to be the sister deck to the Cosmic Order Oracle. So just a lot of things are happening, and again, I just appreciate you all supporting me. Let's see if there's anything else. I was going to talk about Gemini season. So Gemini season, we're shifting from Taurus, which is the earth-based energy, into Gemini. Gemini is air energy, hence using the air sign vibes. Very much tied to our throat chakra, to communication, but it's also definitely energy, where we can get too much in our head. Air signs tend to very much, they can get anxiety, they can, focus too much on the thoughts. And so Gemini can be a very contradictory energy. So you want to watch for that during this time of year, especially if you have Gemini in your chart, that you're staying balanced, that staying focused, right, on the path forward. And, it doesn't mean that, we can't change our mind and we can't, you know, change our path, right? We absolutely, that's the energy of flow. We should be doing that. Just be mindful, I guess, of in your interactions and dealings with others, right? Air sign energy can sometimes be kind of flaky. So really for me, I think, where we want to go here with this is even if you don't have Gemini in your chart, right? We're in this season, which means we're all affected by this energy. So the purpose of the pick a card or pick a pile is kind of just how is this energy coming in for you? Are there, ways you should be working with it, things you should watch out for? Just this, really, and it kind of serves as a sort of a forecast, right, for the next month, for this season, Gemini season, which runs from the end of May until towards the end of June. It takes us up to summer solstice. So again, I will timestamp these, but number one, if you want number one, if you're drawn to this beautiful Geode, which has this angel aura on it, it's in the shape of a heart. We also have an angel aura crystal ball, which is a quartz, I believe. And we have a raw amethyst, which is definitely tied to the third eye. So these were the crystals that wanted to be here today. So we are going to go ahead and get started with number one, which is the Geode, the Geode, the heart Geode. We're going to move these aside. And I also have some other decks here just in case. But in case you guys are new and you haven't watched my videos before, I have not seen these. I pre-shuffled just to save time. So sometimes it takes me a few minutes to assess the energy and what's going on here. It's so funny. You can't make this stuff up. That's my favorite saying, in case you haven't heard me talk before, but it's like without fail, in my vibes, the air sign, earth sign vibes, whatever season it is, the specific card, be it a shadow, be it whatever, always seems to come out for the season that we're dealing with. So of course we have a Gemini card coming out here. But let's see what we've got. All right. Okay, so that's in reverse, so we'll see what that means. Okay, so what's really interesting, right away, what's coming up for me, the first card that came out for you guys under the cosmic order is the past lives. We also have the star as one of the tarot cards, destiny, healing, alignment. I feel like many of you, if you chose, especially if you're drawn to the heart too, I feel like, it's hard to put into words, but I feel like the eclipses have really, maybe they brought up some feelings and some things. We were in Mercury retrograde as well. That has recently ended. We're still in the shadow period though. I don't know if someone came back from the past into your life and it offered you kind of an opportunity for healing. But I feel like there's something that was triggered during, so it would be the last couple of weeks. Somebody came back maybe and wanted to talk, but there's definitely something, and I feel like there's also been something that's kind of like, I'm getting this feeling of like this awakening inside of you. I mean, and if you haven't already went through a spiritual awakening, you may be starting to go through that, but I feel like whatever this was that came in, it really stirred up a lot for you. And maybe what I'm getting to with the air sign vibe that came out is talkative, which is one of the Gemini shadow cards. You can see this guy, he's like blowing smoke, like he's talking. So it's like this person came in and it was just like they were blowing smoke, and there may have been this like intense connection or a past relationship, but ultimately like you realized they weren't in alignment with where you are and where you want to go. And so I feel like you either have already or you're in the process of like moving forward from that situation. We have the Ten of Wands here as the other tarot energy, which is burdened, exhausted, overwhelmed. And you can see like this person, it's like they're starting to get their wings. It's like maybe this was a really difficult, challenging lesson, that's really starting to kind of shape who you are. And I feel like maybe for some of you, this was maybe one of the first times that you've actually set boundaries, healthy boundaries, either with this person or in general in this type of situation. So the message I'm getting for you is that this was a really, really important step for you and a critical step on your journey. And as hard and challenging as it may have been to set that boundary, Spirit is saying you did a damn good job doing that, and that you should be proud, and that this is more in alignment with who you are, right? The star, like you're on this path, right? Even though you may not want to walk away from this person or this situation, it's not in alignment with you. You know that, your soul knows that. And even though it's hard and it's burdensome, I'm getting that like you're taking the right path forward. For some of you, you may still be stuck in this situation where you're feeling burdened, overwhelmed, exhausted, the weight of the world's on your shoulders. And it's like, if you're feeling that way, be it in a job, be it in a relationship, life shouldn't constantly be a struggle. We all go through challenges. We all have, ups and downs in life. Absolutely. But if it's constantly every day, you feel like you are struggling and nothing's going your way, that's a sign that you're not in alignment with what you're supposed to be doing. Because when you're flowing, again, we all have ups and downs and things happen to us, but it shouldn't be this just constant struggle. Things shouldn't have to be forced. It shouldn't be like questioning, like the Gemini energy, like I said, is you can be very much in your head and questioning, am I right? Am I doing the right thing? Is this the right relationship? Is this the right job? And, if you're having to question whether it's right for you, it's not right for you. So, what I'm getting, what we have as far as the energy oracle, we have the envy card. So I don't know if this is, where maybe this person you had to set boundaries with, maybe they were acting in an energy that was like jealous of you and latching onto you, and it kind of got to be too much. Or you may be feeling envious that other people have what it is that you want. It may seem like, oh, everybody else has their happy ending. When is mine coming, right? I've definitely been there. And I have to say, you feel like you're stuck here for a long time. Like, oh my God, like how much more work do I have to do on myself? How much more do I have to do X, Y, Z? And as had I known the way things were going to go, I'm telling you, like back when I created this deck at the end of 2020, if I'd have known, 3.5 years later, right, whatever, where my life would be, I wouldn't have believed it. And I would have been like, this isn't what I want. Or, I would have given up, right? So you have to just take it one day at a time. And the reason I'm sharing that is the things I thought I wanted at that time, they've changed so much. And the life that is unfolding before me, it's like some days I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this is real life. Like, I can't believe I'm traveling the way that I do. I can't believe I have the freedom that I have with my job, right? Things, but a lot of stuff went into that. Things had to fall apart at my other job to force me to quit. And I was in that situation too, where I was in this like resistance, where every day it was a struggle. My health was suffering. It was just this stress, like, what should I do? Should I move on? Should I move on? And it's like, if you're asking yourself again that every day, you should move on. And if you're, feeling envy for what other people have, and, other people, and do keep in mind that, things aren't always what they seem. People seem happy on social media or whatever, and they're not always what they seem. But, if you're feeling like you're missing out, or there's things in life that, your life isn't going the way you want it to go, then that's definitely a sign that you need to make a change. For the Moonology card, we got work through your feelings. Last quarter moon in Aries. And again, Aries energy coming out tells me that something happened during Aries season, potentially, which was in March and April. Okay, so towards like maybe the end of April. And I think that was when Mercury retrograde started too. It was around the end of April or middle of April. So it's important to, even if you know you made the right decision with whatever this was, moving forward or you're going to move forward and until, maybe you feel like you're going to issue an ultimatum, right? This person is like all talk and they're not showing up for you. You need to stay true to yourself is what I'm getting, but you still, of course, even if you know you're making the right decision, work through your feelings. You're still going to be, have things that are hurting your heart, and it's you need to work through that. Let's see, Queen of Gabriel. I'm trying to remember in this deck. I think Gabriel, no, Michael would be swords. Brilliant, independent. I think this is based on the description Wands energy. Queen of Wands, Queen of Gabriel. Passionate, charming, brilliant, independent. And keep in mind, I think most of my viewers are women, but we all have masculine and feminine energy within us. So, take this how it resonates, right? But this is about becoming magnetic. This is about doing you. And I'm getting like Queen of Wands energy is somebody who doesn't need someone else, right? You're going to move past the Ten of Wands into the Queen mode and be like, you know what? This is dragging me down. If this is dragging me down and stressing me out, why am I giving my time and energy to it, right? Obviously, like it says, you need to work through your feelings about it and heal. But it says, you can do anything right now. Go after what you want, the ability to attract helpful people. Passionate, charming, brilliant, independent. This is about you going out on your own. And it's like, there's no need to be envious of others when you have the ability to do what you want. You have the ability to attract the things. And how do you do that? You start doing things that bring you joy. Even if it's like the smallest thing, maybe just, being around children or walking people's dogs, being around animals, taking a fitness class, getting out in nature. But the more you start spending time alone and doing things that you love with yourself, the more that's going to start bringing in higher vibrational people, and certainly setting that boundary and cutting out the person that's bringing you down. That's going to free you. Like I'm hearing like it's time to take flight. Gemini season being an air sign. Taurus, with the eclipses, the earth, it's like cutting off the dead weight. Okay. All right. So speaking of the earth energy, this is interesting. So I was really drawn to use the Shaman's Dream Oracle today. I don't know that I've used this one. This is one that I definitely want to read from the book on. This one was in reverse, so we're going to see why. But it says, Root Girl, the Disowned Self. 46, 4 plus 6 adds up to 10. I'm getting right away with this being in reverse, the disowned self. It's like there's aspects of you or where maybe you weren't speaking or living your truth, which is why, you allowed people to drag you down like that, right? And so this is also tied to root chakra, I feel like. Maybe not believing that you can bring in these things, right? This is about, again, where you're getting the message from spirit. You can do anything right now. Go after what you want, the ability to attract helpful people. All right, I'm going to go turn this off. This is sorry about this, guys. I'm going to turn off my humidifier here. Actually, it's my dehumidifier. Doesn't really matter. Whatever it was, it's making noise, which may or may not be interfering with the video, so we're not going to chance it. All right. So the disowned self. I feel like it's like you're just now maybe starting to wake up to the fact that there are aspects of you in your life that were out of alignment, and you're like, okay, now what? Like, I've cut this person out of my life or this situation. I'm moving forward, but then there's this question of not knowing where to go or how to proceed. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. Root girl, number 46. The need for acceptance and love, hidden beauty. Root girl sits shivering, unclean, and naked at the base of the tree of the self. She is unloved, unwanted, and shunned for her deformities. She has no home but a safe burrowing underground to dwell near the deepest roots of this sacred tree. Who is she to you? Could this urchin be the one part of you that, reintegrated, can lead you to wholeness and true purpose? This is a part of you, the embodiment of a deeply flawed perception of your failures, manifesting as guilt and shame. When you project envy onto others, or any emotion or instinct that you've learned to repress or deem unnatural, it's this homeless child's self crying for attention, acceptance, and love. You want to lash out, ignore it, push it aside, all the while refusing to acknowledge this ugly quality as belonging to you. But if you would only look into the root girl's eyes and see the beauty and the unmet need, your unmet need, you would realize that this part of you asks for your compassion and understanding. This part of you was born when you were wounded and were conditioned to believe you're not whole, that your expression of self is somehow too much or too little. You may have even inherited this creature from your ancestors. However, it was this child self came to be curled up at the roots of your sacred tree self. It's time to welcome her into your heart. When you do, everything you've been searching for becomes illuminated, and your path lights up with renewed purpose. When you come to love Root Girl and claim her as your own, accepting her and your humanity, she is transformed just as you are. Then all manner of magic begins to arrive in abundant form. Look for the beauty. So I think where I'm getting is that maybe, it's interesting that envy was mentioned specifically, and the envy card came out. That, there are child core wounds here, right? That perhaps, we need to turn this upright and face, or perhaps you have been working through those things and you're starting to really discover more aspects of yourself. I think with Gemini season, again, being so tied to the truth and the throat chakra, that this is an opportunity for you to really sit down with yourself and maybe write out, a letter to your, if you know your core wound, right? If you know it was a father or mother, write out letters of forgiveness. You can even go into meditation and envision your inner child in a certain situation where you didn't feel safe, you didn't, where, something traumatic happened, and you can go back in time through the meditation and protect that child and offer them what they needed and heal them. And it's very, very powerful. So I would suggest, that's part of the working through your feelings. It's not just the current situation, right? It ties back into there's deeper roots into what it is that you're feeling, and sit down and examine, why you would, let somebody make you feel this way for so long, right? Because again, it's time to spread those wings and fly. So I hope this was helpful for you, Pile 1. If you would like to schedule a session to look into your specific situation, that information is down below. Okay, so we are going to move on to Pile 2 now. Pile 2 is the little crystal ball, which I love this little thing. All right. It's so funny. I'm like, did I shuffle? I had a lot of wands energy coming out. Wow, okay. All right, so one of the messages that Spirit has for you during Gemini season, and obviously not just during Gemini season, but something to focus on, is meditation. And this can be kind of a daunting task, because if you're like me, it's kind of hard to shut your mind off. But I find guided meditations to be very helpful. And it may not seem like it, but doing yoga, going to yoga classes, that's a form of meditation. And that for me has been the most transformative, where I really just I'm in that moment and I'm breathing and I'm just feeling all the things, especially hot yoga. So we've got meditation and inquisitive. So I feel like if you chose the crystal ball, that there's just, wow, there's a lot happening here where you're really maybe looking to branch out into a new area. It could be a new job, a hobby, maybe starting a side business, although I'm not seeing anything in pentacle form here. You do have resources, a lot of resources and connections potentially that are coming in for you if that's something that you're wanting to manifest. I'm getting that you are being encouraged to get out there, to talk to people, to connect with people, and being inquisitive. It's like there's like a whole new world out there that's waiting for you to open up your eyes to open up your field, right? Just by being curious. And if you're drawn to something, if your soul is drawn to something, that can be a good indication that it's something that you're supposed to be doing in alignment, with your divine life purpose, right? And even if, not to put pressure that like, oh, you're supposed to do something that's, your purpose, you're supposed to serve, you're supposed to do this. No, I mean, your divine life purpose, it's basically, it's something that brings you joy. It's something that makes you happy and fulfills your soul. And when you're in that energy and doing that, you're emanating that back out into the world, right? So just because, okay, so my divine life purpose is obviously serving and doing spiritual work, right? But this, my business of doing tarot and doing, guidance sessions and things like that, right? I don't have a lot of time for that, but the time that when I do it and when I tap into that energy, I'm telling you, like, I'm going to be flying so high, like tonight, right? It's going to just, it just is amazing. And the more I do it, and when I engage with people, right, and I have sessions, it's like their energy is affected by my energy. When I do Pound Fitness, right, that's one that I never would have ever dreamed that I was supposed to be, leading fitness classes. Never would have imagined it. But Pound is something, the music and the drumming and all of it, right, the community, it's something that I'm so passionate about. And so because I love it so much, it is effortless. I mean, I don't want to say effortless. It's fun. It's not work. It is work, right? To spend time and hours and hours and hours that I've spent practicing routines and learning routines. But it's something that it's like I get excited. It's like, oh, yes, like I'm going to do this now, right? That's what I mean, right? If you're inquisitive, like, and I was always drawn to tarot. I was always drawn to crystals, like all, the metaphysical new age kind of stuff. I was always drawn to it and I always wanted to learn more, but I never dreamed I'd be doing it. So again, it's a sign, like, if there's something that just lights you up, that you're like, gosh, I love reading about this. I love learning about this. I love watching videos about this. Maybe it's a sign you're supposed to be doing it. Okay. We have the Eight of Wands here and the Seven of Wands. The Eight of Wands is about progress and rapid action. It's also about communication. So you may be, waiting to hear about an opportunity, or you may find that you have a lot of opportunities coming in. I'm getting between now and August, but really like the next 8 days, 8 weeks. Wands energy is, especially the Eight of Wands, is very fast moving. You also, for some of you, with some of this other energy that's here, we'll get into that in a moment, but definitely have some energy about connections. We have the Ace of Cups here as well. If you've been thinking about communicating with someone, this is, Gemini season is definitely, as I was saying, tied to the throat chakra. It's definitely a time to express yourself, or you may be finding that someone expresses their truth to you. Now, we do have kind of some contradictory energy here, not surprising since it's Gemini season. Seven of Wands is being guarded and defensive, right? So what I'm getting here is you have a lot of opportunity potentially. And I mean, being drawn to the crystal ball is kind of like, what's your future hold, I'm getting like it's kind of up to you. It's kind of up to you and what you want here. But I feel like you've got to let down your guard a little bit, because if there's something that you want, people aren't mind readers, and if you don't take the action to go out and actually pursue that, and I'm getting meditating like on you'll know in your whether people are trustworthy, but you have to get yourself out there and make these connections, right? And if you stay guarded and closed off to that, you're blocking the manifestations from coming in. Seven of Wands is also an energy about perseverance. So this is about like just going for it. It's like, it can be just like about, like I'm ready, I'm fierce. It's like a fierceness energy. Like I'm ready to launch and to go forward. Now, for the new moon, we do have be humble. First quarter moon in Leo energy. Leo can be a little bit, I don't know if egoic's the right word, but self-absorbed. But what I'm getting is more of that like guarded energy, or like thinking that you have all the answers, right? You need to maybe be more inquisitive and go out and seek, right? Because maybe you've been stuck, maybe you have been doing a lot of meditation, a lot of just self-focused, more introverted type activities, which there's nothing wrong with that. But we really grow in the presence of others and in our connections with others. But trust me, I'm not judging. I'm guilty of that too. It can get very, very easy to just stay kind of in your own little bubble and just not want to deal with people. But you never know until you try, until you put yourself out there. So that's where the Ace of Ariel comes in, which is the Ace of Cups. And by the way, this is an Archangel Tarot deck. Love that, as far as the Gemini being the air energy. So with archangels carrying the swords. This is Ace of Cups. It's your lucky day, new resources of money, time, or support, a change in job or promotion. So we have that energy in here twice. The Eight of Wands, like I said, can be about a job offer. But new resources. We've got resources of money, time, or support here. You've also got carrying connections. Carrying connections. And this doesn't just have to be romantic. But obviously, for some of you, I am picking up for sure with Eight of Wands, with Ace of Cups here. We're also going to look into the shaman's dream, but we have jeweled web connectivity. Lots of amazing connections coming in, and definitely the possibility for you to meet somebody special if that's, something that you want to manifest. Again, we're still in that new moon energy right now, and new moon in Taurus before the sun moves into Gemini tomorrow. So today would be a great time, if you're watching this today, and even into tomorrow, it's fine, to really sit down and write out like affirmations, like, oh my gosh, this summer has been so amazing. I can't believe I met this person who's XYZ, blah 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 blah, or I've got this job offer, I've got this opportunity, to sit down and write that out, and just give this gratitude as if you've already got it, right? But carrying connections, this also can be just supportive, great, people coming in for you, for these, for you to open doors for you, for the things that you're wanting to learn more about and get involved in. And like I said, I think it was more in the first video, but if you didn't watch that, if you're in this, where you're trying to force things and questioning and should I not, things just flow when you're in alignment, right? And when you're supposed to do something, if it's something that's in your divine life purpose, you do find that doors just start to open. Like for me with the tarot, I just was messing around with oracle decks, right? And I thought, well, I don't know how to do actual tarot, like. And then lo and behold, I had an acquaintance at the time who said, hey, by the way, I'm taking this tarot class, and it was in Kettering where I live, right? And it happened to work. I think I missed the first class maybe, but I happened to do, so I studied that for 3 months because that was presented to me. When the universe presents things to you, it's not random. sometimes, yes, it's a lesson to be learned, right? And that's hard to discern. For a while, I would have people come in my life, maybe a potential romantic interest or whatever, and I'd be like, oh, this is meant to be because they're here and they're so amazing. And it's like, no, it was meant to show me a lesson. It was meant to show me how to set a boundary. It was meant for me to, whatever, to grow stronger. But when you get presented with opportunities, and if it's something that you're really interested in pursuing, there's a reason, right? And the same thing happened to me with Pound, right? A caring connection, having, when I started going to Pound classes again after COVID, and it was a new instructor, and her noticing that I had a shirt on that said I was a Pound Pro, and I was like, yeah, but I don't teach, I don't, she offered to mentor me. She said, do you want to, if you want to lead a song, or, so I knew that was not random, right? So I seized that opportunity, and I had a community develop, and then it's like doors started opening. And now that I'm in alignment with that part of my journey, more doors are opening. And it's just this amazing thing, right? But you need to get yourself out there. You need to let down your guard and understand that there are other people that can and will help you. I'm just getting again that like the world is your oyster, and this kind of does look like a pearl, right? You just have to seize those opportunities and give gratitude for it. And I'm hearing, know that you deserve it. Okay, so let's see what this jeweled web card says. Connectivity, no separation, the feeling state. Approaching any oracle requires you to come in with certain expectations. You're either looking for confirmation of what you already know or attempting to shed light on what eludes you on the obvious path you're on. You're asking whether you will reach a desired goal of some kind. You're rarely able to see beyond memory or projection, and so naturally, everyone comes to the oracle with a narrow perception of what's possible. Imagine that the answer to your question is not about landing at a particular destination, meeting a goal, connecting to a special lover, reaching an endgame, or experiencing anything specific. Instead, you discover a shimmering web of jewels you didn't know existed. The world is interconnected in a living web of energy. It isn't possible to know how any of it works, but know this. What is in your highest good is a sparkling jewel that lights up for you among this web of possibilities. You just need to know how you want to feel and choose this consciously. Take your focus off getting anywhere. Practice feeling and being in a place where your desired experience has already come to pass. Who will you be when this is true for you? Can you be that now? Feel that now. Practice that. The better you know your path within this web of life, the more it will light up for you. It is celebrating you already. That's so beautiful. And I can't remember if it was in this video or the prior video, but I was saying that sometimes the things that we want, I think it was the prior one, like when I created this deck in 2020, if you'd have told me, right, I had in my mind an end destination of where I was going to go, what I was going to be doing, who I was going to be doing it with, the way my life was going to look, and it sure as hell hasn't come to fruition. But what has come to fruition is beyond my wildest dreams. And it's like my whole life is just starting now, right? It doesn't mean it's been easy, but taking it day by day and focusing on the things that bring me joy has led me to this moment now where not having what I thought I wanted, it doesn't matter anymore, truly. Because it's, what this epiphany and the light bulb that went off for me was, it was never the actual thing that I wanted. It was the feeling that I thought the thing was going to give me, or the person, or whatever it is. And so by doing more and more things that light my soul on fire and make me happy and bring me joy, it's like you don't need that out, from anyone else. So when you have that, be it, through fitness classes, be it through a side business, or just, high vibrational people, getting out in nature, just travel, whatever it is, doing things that bring you joy, you are just in this state of, okay, things are so good, and I feel so happy doing what makes me happy that I don't need someone else to come in to make me happy. or I don't have to have this other thing. I don't have to have this end destination. And it sounds cliche, but it like truly is the journey that becomes magical and beautiful. And you stop where you really living in the now. And the more you live in the now, the more doors that start to open and lead you places that you never dreamed of. So again, I would encourage you to definitely manifest right now. And whenever you're watching this, there's no right or wrong time to set intentions. But this is an especially powerful time right now with this new moon in Taurus. So I hope that was helpful for you. Pile 2, if you'd like to book a reading to look into your specific situation, that information is down below. So we're going to move on to pile 3 now. Pile 3 was the raw amethyst. Let's see what Spirit wants you to know. Ooh, I like that card. These are beautiful cards. That's in reverse. Wow. Got some powerful things happening here. So I'm getting that, first of all, the cosmic order card that came out is the third eye chakra. So this is definitely about tapping into your intuition, right? And I feel like you maybe, in a recent situation, I just want to say within the last few months, since like February, this could have happened, but where you're really starting to open your eyes, all your eyes. You're starting to feel in your gut, when somebody's not being honest, or there's a situation that's just not serving your highest and greatest good. I'm getting, you may have had somebody coming in and out of your life, somebody flaky, could have been an Aquarius, because we do have the Aquarius card here, Ghoster. That's why I was staying back to February. It could have been an Aquarius season, or it could just be now with the retrograde, somebody coming in and out, right? Somebody coming back around. But whatever, this person isn't showing up for you, or they did not show up for you in the ways you needed. And deep down inside, you know that, but I think it's been hard. Whatever the situation was not in balance. And I'm getting like, finally, maybe through eclipse season, that you've like realized like you're walking away from this, and you're ready to find a balance. Because the new moon card, full moon in Libra, find a balance. It was in reverse. Thing is, the cards that you have here are just like, once you walk away from somebody who isn't showing up for you, and you stop settling and you set boundaries, like, you have so many beautiful things coming in. You have the Ace of Cups here. New beginning, offer of love, Holy Grail. It's kind of like, you keep waiting maybe for this person to show up with this cup, and they aren't. So it's time to take the cup and like make your own happiness, right? And you may want to watch number 2 if you didn't, because I'm getting that that it talks about manifestation, and the Ace of Cups also came out in that one. But you have the Sun here. Joy, happy outcome, good fortune. So I think Amethyst is also tied to February. I believe, isn't it February's birthstone, Amethyst? You maybe just, or something may have happened in February where, I'm getting tied back to that, where maybe you're just now starting to work through that and realize, like, deep down, like, your intuition is telling you, all right, this had to end, like, and maybe it was you that, like, said goodbye. Like, it's like, again, it's like, hang out, nobody's on the other end of the line. Like, it's like, and it's a very gray energy. That's why I'm feeling it's like tied to winter. But it's like you're just now starting to emerge out of this situation, or healing from this situation. It's like you're moving through it, and it's like with the change in seasons, right? With summer coming up, it's like you're finally ready to be like, yeah, I'm letting this go, because I do know that that situation, and I'm getting most likely, I mean, it could have been a job situation, but I'm getting for most of you, it's a relationship or a close friendship, something that, ended, but it's like you were meant to grow from that. And I feel like it's made you stronger. I feel like it's given you the tools and the skills that you needed to maybe have a successful relationship going forward. I'm getting there was like kind of an unbalanced dynamic in the relationship too. Not just maybe with somebody not showing up, right? Now, if this is for some of you, if this was like somebody was non-committal, take that how it resonates. But if you were actually in a relationship, there was something that was just like somebody like maybe was a lot younger, immature, just in different places in life. Maybe somebody was not contributing their weight. But you have the Angel of Strength here. And 505 is about change. I'm getting that with this being, the lion here, by August, like, I feel like you're going to be completely through this, but I feel like you're already on your way. It's just like maybe with Mercury retrograde, perhaps, like maybe that's why I'm picking up on something that was like February, but then like maybe somebody came back in your life during the retrogrades. But it's like I'm getting, maybe there was a thought that there could be a new, like with the Ace of Cups and the Sun here, like a happy outcome, maybe if you were going to try again. But then it's like, again, it's out of balance, right? With it being like this being in reverse. So I'm feeling like you've like had the strength to know that this is in alignment, not in alignment with your highest and greatest good, and to move forward. We have the Star here. This is also tied to Aquarius, by the way. But it says a dream come true, believe in yourself, the end of a difficult situation. It's like this, I'm just getting it's taking a lot of strength for you to move on from this person. And I feel like maybe you're at a crossroads and trying to decide whether like that is and what you should be doing, even though I feel like deep down I feel like in your intuition it's just maybe in your heart you don't want to let that go. But these cards are here to show you there's so much more coming in for you beyond this. And if deep down in your if something's out of balance and it doesn't feel like it's in alignment, you can't force it to be. Even if you wanted that person to be the one, there were some good things about them. It just wasn't the right time. It wasn't, it was only meant to be something to contribute to your growth. We've got, for the shaman's dream, we've got the crossing initiation. With the portal here, 5-4, that adds up to 9. This is about your individual journey. And it's like taking you to the next level, like having the strength to move on from this. It's like you've got to believe that you're about to break through, believe in yourself, and know that ending and moving forward, I feel like you're moving from the gray into this whole other world that's waiting. I feel like too, with you being drawn to the Amethyst, there's a lot of purple here, a lot. The third eye chakra card is purple. The star energy is purple. The Amethyst obviously is purple. Now obviously I had these out for the whole reading, right? But I have this Amethyst wand I was really drawn to show you. I feel like you're very, and the Aquarius energy is like very much in your head, and there might be anxiety because it's like this person or this situation, was safe. It felt safe. It felt maybe you could be yourself in ways that you hadn't been before. But that's just a sign that like you're opening up to things that are like so much greater, and there's so much more on the other side. If something ended, it ended for a reason. And you have to really look at it from the perspective of how did this change me? How did this make me grow? And if something was out of balance, knowing that there is someone out there for you who is more in alignment with where you are. And also, so many people go into relationships, and maybe this is me just being cynical, I don't know, but energy is so fluid, and I just know, just on my own journey, I feel like I'm transforming more and more and more, and like faster and faster, right? And I feel like it used to be like, oh, in a year I would change, and then it was like 6 months, and it's like I'm a different person. Now it's like every 2 weeks I feel like I don't recognize myself from 2 weeks before. I feel like there's so much that happens. 2 weeks feels like a lifetime. And it's like we're just shedding so much at such a rapid rate. And so unless somebody else is doing, it's on a similar path to you, and doing all of, going through all these things, right, you're going to grow apart. You're both growing, or maybe they aren't growing and you are, right? I mean, that's a factor. But like, relationships aren't necessarily meant to be forever, right? Because people change so much, and unless you can evolve and like stay on the same frequency and grow together, it's, and you don't have to look at it that way. You've got to look at it as, this was just a beautiful part of my journey. And who knows, I mean, down the road, right? If you're at this crossroads, this initiation, this person down the road, 10 years down the road, your paths could cross again, right? You can't look at everything as just being so final, because energy is just not. It's just like everything shifts and changes and flows. And when you go with the flow, it's like you got to trust that you are on the right path, and give gratitude, no matter how painful, like for the growth, for the ways you grew in this relationship, and for what is coming in. Because you got to think of it this way too, like, if you were able to like have something that you've never experienced before, think about what else is coming in, right? Think about, gosh, that's not all that's out there, right? Don't limit yourself to believe that that's all you're going to have, and latch onto that. Focus on your own path. Focus on pouring your own cup. Like I said, you may want to watch 2. Focus on your own, stay strong, and focus on your own joy and your own journey. And it's going to get to the point where you're so happy with your life and your freedom that you're not going to need anybody else to complete you. Okay, so let's see what this crossing initiation says. Rite of passage initiation. You have come to stand on one side of a river. The opposite bank leads into the darkness of the eternal cave, where the old dies and then is born again. This is a place where time is forgotten, and the seasons cease their dance and stand still, as if in a temporary repose. You must cross the river now, honoring and respecting this transition, for it's time to say goodbye to your old ways of navigating your world. Don't be afraid. You've come to the edge of the river because you're ready. You're ready to let go of what doesn't serve you, and all the ways in which you've kept yourself from truly living. Intimacy requires vulnerability and truth. Can you strip away the masks and the barriers of false strength to discover what you're really made of? Step in the boat waiting for you. Let it carry you into the cave, where the shadows are waiting to be illuminated, so you can be born again into the world without denial or artifice. Making the crossing is a beautiful, powerful act of the highest love. Wow, like, I have chills. I don't even know what to say, because I was talking about things that no longer serve, right? Moving forward. Intimacy requires vulnerability and truth. Can you strip away the masks and the barriers of false strength to discover what you're really made of? I'm getting, that's where this angel strength card is coming in. And I'm getting that maybe this relationship, you felt safe and you felt more vulnerable than you had been, but you're truly like not embodying your full essence yet. And it's like, this help was a stepping stone to help you start to take that mask off, to open your heart. But what does this say here? It says, making the crossing is a beautiful, powerful act of the highest love. That's like the Holy Grail, the Ace of Cups. Making that crossing, choosing to go forward is it's not easy, but you've got to believe in yourself that like the best is yet to come, and that this was a stepping stone for you to open up to your highest potential, right? And so it may have hurt, and you may have been vulnerable, and it may have gotten hurt more than you've been because you opened yourself up more. But like, the more you open your heart, the more that's gonna come into you. I mean, I can't even tell you, to see the sun here, to see the crop, like, you can either stay stuck in this gray energy, and the patterns, right? But I feel like you did make some sort of a leap here with whatever the situation was. And so it's only up from here. And you've got to believe that, and you've got to take that leap of faith, is what I'm hearing. So I hope that was helpful for you, Pile 3. If you would like to schedule a reading to look into your specific situation, that information is down below. Until next time, take care.